In this short video, I'm going to show you how to create interactive elevation profiles in ArcGIS Pro. What do I mean by that? So there are times that you have multiple lines or you have a digital elevation model like this. You want to quickly make a line over here without creating a shapefile and figure out what is the elevation profile of this digital elevation model right over the line that you have created or over the line that you already have, like these red lines, polylines over here. Okay, I want to show you that. So, and sometimes you have even multiple digital elevation models. For example, this is a pond over here. I want to know what would be if I have a line right across this pond and the other digital elevation model, what would be the elevation profile of that? Okay, so I want to show you that to you in this video. The first step that you need to do, first of all, you can see that my digital elevation model is not that big. So first thing that you need to do is to convert this map scene into a 3D scene. How do we do that? So if you go under View tab and under View ribbon, under Convert, you have the option to convert this map to a global scene or a local scene. What this does is that it converts your current map into a 3D scene. If your digital elevation model is big, I recommend global scene. If your digital elevation model is small, I recommend local scene. So I'm going to convert this to a local scene, and after a couple of seconds, you'll see that another tab will show up over here that has the 3D in its name. This is telling you that it's creating a 3D scene off of the map that you have over here. Okay, now that we have this 3D scene over here, we want to create cross sections and find elevation profiles interactively. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit. There we go. Okay, so the first thing that I want you to pay attention to is that something has been added over here. The elevation surfaces have been added over here, and by default you have a ground surface. This is the ArcGIS Pro default digital elevation model that we are not going to use right now. Okay, now what we are going to use after this is going to be under analysis, and there is a tool called under workflows um, exploratory 3D analysis. When you expand that, you need to actually click on elevation profile, and this gives you the ability to create interactive lines, or you can select the line that you already have with the units that you want to. Let's say that I want my unit to be in feet. I want to create an interactive line, first of all, right over here where I don't have any lines. But you need to add your surfaces over here to represent your ground because we turned off the default one. So I'm going to right click on ground and add my elevation surfaces. I want to add actually two digital elevation models. One is the DEM, the one that you see over here, and the one is the pond one that I showed you. So I'm going to add both of them right over here. They are both added over here. Let's say that I do not want to represent pond right now, and I do not want to represent DEM. What if I just create a line over here when none of these are selected? What happens? So let's create an interactive placement. So I'm going to, when you have this plus sign as your cursor, it tells you that you can create a line. I'm going to do that and double click at the end of it. It's telling you that no active ground surface data is selected. We don't have any of these selected over here. Okay, so first let's try the World Elevation 3D, which is the default digital elevation model from ArcGIS Pro. So if I turn this on, you can see that it gives me this surface. This surface also, when I move over the elevation profile, you can see there is a white dot on my digital elevation model that shows me where I am in comparison to the elevation profile that I'm moving on. Okay, very cool. Remember, this is not even my digital elevation model. This is the ArcGIS Pro default digital elevation model. Now, I'm going to check this off, and this time I will check digital elevation model on. Again, now ArcGIS Pro is using this layer to create this surface. Okay. You can have multiple surfaces on. Okay, how does that work? Let me show you right over here. So I'm gonna exit this. This time, because I have a pond over here, I'm gonna create a surface that it crosses the pond, and I will have pond layer open over here as well. So interactive placement, I'm gonna create this line over here that crosses the pond and double click. Okay, now you can see that the pond is right over here because it's a flat area. Take a look at the map. The pond is right over here. So ArcGIS automatically knows that this pond is on top of the digital elevation model and overlays on top of that and creates this elevation profile for you. Very cool and very fast. You don't need to create any shape files or any other polyline feature over here. Very fast. Now, if you want to export this, you have different options. You can click on over here. You can export this as an image, as a feature, as a geodatabase table, or as CSV file if you want to open it in Excel later. And it gives you all the X and Y axis for this elevation profile that you have here. Very useful actually, and the information that it gives you over here is also very useful. Okay, now let me close this. What if I do have shapefiles like these red lines and I want to create elevation profile across these lines? That's also possible. So if you click along a line, it tells you to select the layer. This layer of red lines is going to be S_SXS. So I'm going to select that. And it tells me select the line in the view. So I'm going to select, let's say, this line. I'm going to go over it as close as I can and select it. And you will see that after a couple of seconds, if you have selected correctly, which I did not, this should turn blue. So because I think my digital elevation model is a little bit big, so you can see that it takes a little bit of time for the computer to render. I'm going to select it again. Once it is selected, it should turn blue, and also the apply button will pop up over here. So you can see that now it is selected. Once the line is selected, you're going to click apply, and it does the same thing, and it gives you essentially the elevation profile for the line that you have selected. Similarly, you can see the statistics down here, and you can export this graph into an image or a CSV file. This is a very cool essentially feature that ArcGIS Pro gives you, especially if you are like me working with HEC-RAS. This saves you a lot of time. All right, I hope you liked this video and I hope this was useful for you.